Hi, I'm John Hanson, and after 40 plus years in high tech and almost as long as procurement, I understand the sales process and the complexity of landing a major contract or navigating the waters of confusion. You know, the solution maps I'm hearing from many senior executives, CPOs, etc., saying that it's really giving them a migraine. How do we know who to choose? There's just so many. I mean, I must admit, I need a magnifying glass to look at them. But here's the point. Let me tell you a sales story and understanding that sales is more than just the features, functions, and benefits analysis. Sales is more than just promoting and branding a logo. Way back when, and this is in 1995, 96, I was working with a PC manufacturer, one of the top ones in Canada. And at the time, margins with computers were coming down considerably, but they were still expensive. And somebody thought, what a great idea it would be if we could approach companies with whom we work or to whom we provide computers and offer their employees a discount on the computers. So we'd have it as an employee purchase plan. Now, of course, they would have to apply for credit on their own. They would have to, qualify. And again, everything would be arranged directly with them, hands-free from the main company. Most of these initiatives, most of these programs failed. They didn't do a lot of business. You know, you go and do presentations, maybe 100 employees would show up. And if you got maybe 10% of those, that would be a big show. Well, I looked at the situation and said, it's a good plan. What's missing? And I came across General Electric Finance, who had said, look, we want to get into the leasing business on the consumer side. And I approached them and said, what if I could arrange for you to offer credit-free, no credit checks, opportunities to employees of companies who work at A.G. Simpson or Lear Seating or the big manufacturers who they're going to stay in their job, and arrange for that company finance office to automatically withdraw monthly payments from their paycheck. Your risks would be minimized in that regard, number one. Number two, what would happen is it would open the door to contracts or big companies that you would not ordinarily have an opportunity to access. And number three, it'll build your reputation in terms of the new consumer financing, consumer leasing business you want to build. And they said, if you can get the finance department to agree to do automatic payroll deductions, then we're in. No credit form required. Anyone who decides they want to purchase a computer, any employee, they will get automatically approved for credit. So I went to A.G. Simpson, which was a steel manufacturing company, and I talked with their finance people and their CFO, and they said, this is a great idea because a lot of our employees want their kids to grow up computer literate. They want to understand. So yeah, and of course we feel good about dealing with G Finance because they're a big company. Long and the short of it was we brought it together, and sure enough, I put together a booklet, a plan, automatic finance approval, and then I went out to the different factories across Ontario. And what I ended up doing was saying is, okay, each shift, here are what we're offering in the program. Here's the computer choices that you have. By the way, you've already automatically been approved for financing, because at those days the computers were $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, which were quite a bit of money. So they've automatically approved, regardless of what their credit was. They were automatically approved, and the payments would come off their paychecks in small monthly amounts. So I went to the first factory and did the morning shift, the dinner shift, and the midnight shift. Yes, I was running on fumes and caffeine. So I went to one place, Windsor. Then I went to another city in Ontario and did the same thing. Now, being away from the office, I didn't know what would be happening, because the forms, what they had to do is they had to tear off a form, fill it all in, employee number, et cetera, submit it to the finance department. They would sign off on it and then forward us via fax in those days, the orders. By the time I went to the third city, I got a call from the company saying we had to put in more fax machines because the orders started coming in over and over and over again. Long and the short of it is, is that I ended up selling more than $1 million of PCs in 6 weeks. And that was a big chunk back then, $1 million in 6 weeks. What also opened up the door is Lear Seating and General Motors. Other companies started to say, well, wait a second. If their company is ensuring that they get guaranteed credit, the A.G. Simpson employees, why can't we get that? And subsequently, the program just again organically expanded. So Lear Seating, we implement the program there and was equally successful. The reason I'm telling you this story is, if you notice, I did not talk about the brand name of the computer I was selling. I did not talk about the features, functions, and benefits, how much RAM, color monitors, printer hookups, or anything like that. They didn't care. The brand of the computer, as long as it worked, the brand of the computer, the functionality was secondary to accessibility. And that's what I talk about when I say, are you solving problems or chasing solutions? If we continue to focus on selling features, functions, and benefits without being creative and solving a problem that prevented them from participating, it wouldn't matter how great the computer is. And that's what we need to start thinking about in terms of how we do business in today's world. How do we solve problems? There are so many. There are a proliferation of so many service providers. How do you choose? How do you know which one works? You say yourself and ask them, how are they going to help me solve the problems that matter the most to me? Not on a technical standpoint, but beyond the technology. Yes, they have to have good technology, but again, we're far beyond the days of no one ever got fired for buying IBM. What they have to do is be able to have something beyond the technology that has expertise how to solve a problem specific. And that's the first tip you have to do. Build rapport, build relationships, and go from there. Stay tuned for some more sales tips in the coming weeks. I'll share again, 40 plus years, you'll learn a few things. And I just thank you again for your time. Take care.